Hi guys, welcome to another tutorial on IT.tutorials. I am Josef Botnar. I'm continuing the series of tutorials regard to this school registration system project. This project is done using Visual C# and SQL Server 2019. This tutorial has the goal to fix the code behind this button register. I have done a check and I notice you can enter in database more than one user with the same registered name and the same password, which is not properly. We shouldn't be allowed to enter the same register and the same password more than once. So the registered user and the password should be unique. Just one registered user and one password should be allowed to be entered to be registered in our database. So I have to fix this logic error. Another objective of this tutorial is to make the code behind this update button and delete button. As usually I do, I will make the code, and after I finish the code, I will give you all the explanations what I have done to understand how this code works. So let's start. Here you go, the code is finished, so let's do a demonstration. Let's see how this application works. I mean this register user form. So let's release this application. Here you go, click on admin, and let's enter a new user. I'm going to use this user just to check if the code behind this button register work properly, yeah, because we have the same user, the same password. Actually the code should not allowed to enter this user because we already have this user and this password in our database, yeah. The user and the password should be unique. All right, so click on register, and here you go, username password exist already in database, please try again with a different username and password. Yeah, so the code works properly. Just let me to do a fix here. Just I noticed there a spelling mistake at here. Okay, let's release again. Click on admin. Right, so let's write another name here, like Maria. It's enough, yeah. And let's use the same password. Let's see if we're gonna use just the password the same, if the code works. Click on register. Username, password exists already in database. So the code works properly. We can't enter this user because we use the same password which already exists in database. As you can see, password 01. Yeah, so let's select this user, Carmen Botnar. Let's use this username, and let's change the password here, like remove D, and let's enter another 0, yeah, and click on register button, and here you go, username password exists already in database. Actually the username exists in the database because the password was changed, yeah. So Carmen Botnar, as you can see, exists here in the database already. So the code behind the register button works properly. Let's enter another user, yeah, with different name, with different password 03. Let's confirm the password. All right, click on register button. Here you go, user was added successfully, yeah, because all the requirements was fulfilled. So we don't have this user inside our database, and we don't have this password too, yeah. All right, so it works. So let's see if this button update works properly. So let's select this user, and let's see if I try to update just the password. Yeah, I'm gonna to write here 04. We don't have this password here, as you can see, but we have this name for the user, yeah, Maria Yodel. So click on update. Here you go, username password exists already in database. So the requirement works for this update button as well. We can't update this user because already we have this name in our database. So we have to change also the user name, yeah. So let's write here like Gladys. Let's write here Green, for example, yeah. But now we have the password, password 03 exists already in a database, as you can see. Click on update. Username password exists already in database. Actually, the password exists already in database, as you can see. So the requirements works properly behind this button update. But let's try now to update this Maria Yodel user. That means we have to change the username as well, yeah. Maria 222, password password 04, password 04, yeah. Update. Let's see what is the matter here. Converting data type and varchar to int. Okay, Let's go inside the code and let's see what is the matter here in update. Yeah, here is the problem. I used the wrong property. I put here username, and I should have put here ID. Actually, is this parameter ID, which has this type in it. So that's why I received that error. So let's release again this application. All right, click on admin, and here you go. Let's update this user. I'm going to write Maria 222 and the password 04. So we have to change either the username and the password. Yeah. Otherwise, we are not allowed to enter that user in a database, because the username and the password must be unique. Yeah. Click on update. Here you go. User was updated successfully. Okay. As you can see, this user was updated successfully. Yeah. So it was changed the username and the password too. We have to change these two together. So the update button will not work if you change just or update just the username. You have to update the password as well, which is normal in my opinion, is proper. Yeah, so let's see if the delete button works. So I'm going to delete the last user. Click on delete button. We have the same error here as well. Let's go inside the code and let's fix the error here inside the delete method. Here is the error. Yeah, it's the same error because I use the property username instead of this ID parameter, which has integer type. Yeah, so that is the problem, and username is a string type. So let's release again this application. Click on admin and let's delete this user. Click on delete button. User was deleted successfully, so the code behind delete button works properly. So let me to give you the needed explanation regard to code what I have done here. First I'm going to go inside this user file where I've got these methods add, update and delete. I extend this method add. So first of all I created these two object, adapter and DC. Adapter is a part of this class SQL data adapter, and data set was DC variable was created using this class data set. So here inside this add method, actually I use this store procedure check user. Yeah. This was created inside the Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. As you have seen, I created this store procedure, check user, add user, and update user. Regard to check user, let me to open it using this modify option. I used these two parameters, username and password, and I use this condition where username is equal with this parameter username and password is equal with this parameter password. That means if at least one of these conditions is fulfilled, that means the user can't be entered in database. You are not allowed to enter that user in database because my algorithm met that user or that password in a database. That means the username or the password exists in database if one of these condition is met. All right. So the user is checked to use this stored procedure with these two parameters, username and password. Actually, using this line code, using this object obj SQL com check, I will create this table using this object adapter, which was instantiated using this class SQL data adapter. And after, I need a data set which will take over this table which exists in SQL Server, and I need a table to be created in computer memory, which Visual C# is able to bring it in. So that's why I use this adapter object together with this fill method to create in computer memory using this object DC created based on this class data set. So now this table exists in computer memory, and in this moment Visual Studio is able to bring in inside the code this table using this property and this rows property to get the rows of this table, yeah, and this property count to count the records inside the table. If there is going to be records inside the table and this condition is fulfilled, greater on equal with 1, that means at least one record we have inside the table. That means we have already inside our database at least one username with the same name or the same password, and you will receive this message: username, password exist already in database. Let me to make a demonstration. So let's set here a breakpoint. Yeah, let's release again this application. Click on admin. We have this user Joseph Botnar with this password 01. So click on register. Yeah, here you go. If I go over this property count, we have this one. That means we have already a user with the same name or the same password. And now this condition will be fulfilled because we have one here. So that means we are going to receive this message. The name or the password exists in database. Even here, if I over these properties, you can see we have one record, Joseph Botnar, and password 01, which exists in a database. If I go here and I take this table TBL user and select top 1000 rows, you can see here we have this user already in database, and we are going to receive this message. So this is the idea and the logic behind this algorithm. Yeah, and as you have seen, it works properly. And here, if this condition, this requirement is not met, the compiler will go inside this else part of this if conditional statement and will enter the user in a database using this stored procedure add users and this parameter username, password, and position, and finally we will receive this message: user was added successfully in a database. Yeah, the same works this update method. Here we've got extra information. One of them is this parameter integer init ID, which will take over the ID from data grid view, from this data grid view. If I go inside this register user file and I extend this method, this update user with this event click, which is this button, update button. Yeah, is the code behind this button. Yeah, update, and here the method is called, and here I'm using this argument user ID, which is this class variable, private static init integer class variable with this name user ID, and this variable takes over the ID from data grid view here inside this method. Yeah, on this code line, as you can see here, I do a conversion to init 32 because all the records inside data grid view are strings, and this variable is init, as you have seen. Yeah, and as I told you, here this method update is called, and this argument user ID will be sent here inside this method, and this method will take over the ID using this parameter. And the parameter is used here, inside this code line. Actually, will be added to this parameters user ID, and all these parameters will update the records inside the database. And finally, you will receive this message: user was updated successfully. In the same way works the code for this method delete, with the difference that we don't have this requirement like here. We don't need to check the user like here, as we do here inside this add method and update method. We don't do this part of code, I mean this one, which is checking the user. We don't need, because we are gonna just delete the user, and we are gonna to use just the string connection, and after the command which will use this delete stored procedure to delete the user inside the database using the ID, the user ID parameter. So let's make another demonstration. Click on admin. Let's enter another user. Register. User was added successfully, as you can see here. Let's update this user. Entry 222, password 0404. The user was updated successfully, as you can see on this line. And let's delete this user. Click on the delete button. User was deleted successfully, and the user was deleted, as you can see. So the code works properly, no problems at all. So it left to make another 2 or 3 tutorials regard to this button login, and the last tutorial will be related to deploy the app. After I finish this project, I'm going to put this project on a website, and you can download the code from there, and this will make easier for you to follow my tutorials. Also, you have to know this project is quite big. It contains about 53 or 54 tutorials. To the end, there will be around 56 or 57 tutorials. If you have the patience to go through this project, you will be able to make a database application using Visual C# and SQL Server. Actually, the project start with beginner knowledge, and to the end I have used intermediate and advanced concepts or knowledge regard to Visual C# and SQL Server. So this will teach you to make a database application, starting with the beginner knowledge and finish with intermediate and advanced knowledge. So thank you for watching this video tutorial. See you next time. Bye bye.